Today on Joe's Geek Show, we're going to be talking about The Flash, issue 769. What's going on, and welcome to Joe's Geek Show, the video series where we talk comics. And if you're new and like to support the channel, you can do so by clicking that like button, hitting that subscribe button, and sharing. And with that, yeah, we are into the second issue of this new Flash Return of Wally West story. Written by Jeremy Adams with art by Brennan Peterson and David LaFuente, colors by Micah Tay and Luis Guerrero, with letters by Steve Wands. And this issue begins with Barry, Mr. Terrific, and Green Arrow reestablishing a connection with Wally West, who's in the company of the future heroine, Gold Beetle, as they're falling towards the ground while in retreat from a large Dominator. Gold Beetle gets them safely onto her vessel where Wally meets Gold Beetle's companion Beats, and once again begins picking up Barry's messages. Gold Beetle notices something's off and uses a future device to hone in on the frequency so she too can hear the conversation. Discovering the truth about Wally inhabiting Bart Allen's body, she gets overly excited and agrees to help Wally. Altogether, they come to the conclusion that the Dominator's size increased due to the Speed Force and come up with a plan to siphon the energy off him. Barry, Green Arrow, and Mr. Terrific head to the Flash Museum and place a device in a time capsule, which Wally and Gold Beetle recover after crashing into the museum. Wally then manages to get the device inside the Dominator's mouth, and he shrinks. With the anomaly dealt with, they ascertain that Wally will fade into another body until all the anomalies are closed. Gold Beetle gives Wally a hug as he leans into her ear and whispers something before fading away, leaving Bart Allen in the embrace of Gold Beetle. The issue comes to a close as Wally falls through the Speed Force once again, and the final page is that of the Spear of Destiny in the grasp of Adolf Hitler. And I think on the surface it's okay, but when we start digging, we've got some problems. Like the last issue, the stuff surrounding Wally was vastly more interesting than anything that was going on with Barry, and to a degree still feels more like Barry is sharing the spotlight with Wally rather than passing the spotlight to Wally. But I will say, they do play with the time travel aspects in kinda some fun ways. Primarily with Barry needing to get this device to Wally in order to defeat the Dominator. It's complicated yet simple. I mean, Barry has to make the device, but then all he's got to do is hide it in a spot where Wally can find it in so many years. Kind of reminded me of this movie Frequency. You know that movie with Dennis Quaid where he talks to his son in the future? But I would say that probably my favorite thing in this book had to be Gold Beetle. Even though she's derivative of both Booster Gold and Blue Beetle just mashed together, I did have fun with her character a bit. But then I kind of start to wonder, am I having fun with her because she's her own character, or that she kind of shares some personality traits with Booster Gold? Because despite the Beetle part, I mean, she's effectively a time cop, she's very snarky, she has her own little droid named Beats. Get it? Beats? Skeets? It's basically the same character. But even still, I think her and Wally had some decent chemistry and whatnot. Specifically surrounding the conversation of her asking about how Jai is and making that kind of growling sort of sound. Because it's a moment that's both funny and creepy. Because on one hand, in the context of Wally knowing Jay, he's only 10. But for Gold Beetle, he's an adult. And it's moments like this in the book that do make me chuckle. However, through Gold Beetle, we also get some exposition that cause some issues with the book. Like after Wally says he's gonna retire, she just snickers and laughs and says that that's effectively not gonna happen because he's got at least 5 more crises to get through. Which is essentially a guarantee to the reader that Wally is not going anywhere. Which unfortunately does kill the rest of the story because I already know at the very end that Wally's not going to retire now. It would have been more interesting to see Wally go on these adventures and go through a character change that leads him to the decision of staying on as the Flash. Which I was already kind of expecting it to happen anyway, but after reading it on the page via Gold Beetle, it does pull some of my investment out of the entire story because now I'm anticipating the conclusion rather than enjoying the journey. And that really does tie into the story's biggest narrative issues, and that's undercutting its own plot lines, effectively shooting itself in the foot in order to make the story a little more safe. Barry loses his speed at the beginning of the first issue, don't worry, he's got it back here at the beginning of the second issue. Worried that Wally's gonna retire? Don't worry, he's got 5 more crises coming. If you're going to create a problem in one issue and then solve it within the next issue with really barely any explanation, it just seems pointless. I mean, even so, within the context of Barry having his speed back, he's just kind of got it back, and it's just got an arbitrary explanation of, oh, hey, Wally solved that one problem in the dinosaur times, and I got a little bit of my speed back. You know, he's solved a problem in the future, and Barry's probably gonna get a bit more of a speed back again. I think it would have been far more effective to have Barry have no speed in the story whatsoever, and then after Wally solves all of the problems is maybe when he gets the rush of his speed back. To kind of put it into a different perspective, I don't think that Barry should be able to access the water until the pipes are fixed. When it comes to the art, it's once again split, as depending on which perspective you're in, the art's different. Because in Barry's segments, the art isn't all that terrible, but it does have some really weird artistic choices. Like, for one, all these outlines that are around the characters are just kind of distracting. I mean, we've already got the characters outlined in the black inks and stuff. What's the extra lines around the characters for? And there are some panels that are really overdone when it comes to the shadow, almost to the point of looking like a horror comic. Wally's side, by contrast, has this bulkier, puffier look to the characters, and almost kind of makes it look like an animated series. And for the most part works with the quirky nature of these segments. However, some of Gold Beetle's close-ups are less than flattering. And the conflicting nature of style and tone in both segments really don't complement each other well, and often create this jarring effect from lack of transitions. And at the end of the day, I think if you're reading the book on a superficial level, you might have fun with it, as well as with characters like Gold Beetle, because I even did find her funny at times. But if you like a little more quality and substance tier comics, and preferably don't like the future of the story basically spoiled, you're probably not gonna find what you're looking for here. And with that, I'm going to give The Flash issue number 769 a 5 out of 10. The Flash issue 769, what did you think about this book? If you've read it, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please leave your comments in the comment section below. And if you liked this video, I'd love it if you'd smash that like button, share it with some friends, subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and ring that notification bell for more comic book content. And if you're wondering what to watch next, consider one of these 2 videos. Alright, take care, have a great day, and as always, stay geeky.